Alright guys, then we're going to look at the 2018 offseason of the New York Giants, and we're also going to go ahead and talk about the players who have joined, left, and also a 7-round mock draft. Getting started right away guys, we have question of the day. Who will win the NFC East? Make sure to comment that down below and tell me why you think a certain team will win. So do you think the Eagles are going to win again? Why? Do you think the Giants will win this time? Do you think it will be the Redskins? Or do you think it will be the Cowboys? And tell me why down below in the comment section. Also, guys, we have comment of the day coming in from the Football Royalty, who said, great mock, by the way. Appreciate it, man. Go ahead and comment down below for your chance to win comment of the day. We also have a like goal for this video, guys. Can we get this video to 22 likes? If you're going to go ahead and help us crush the like goal, make sure the like button down below. So getting started right away, guys, we're going to start off with free agency. Free agency. We're going to start off with players leaving. We have, on the right-hand side, just some notable names. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about every single player that left. The list is very long. These are the guys that are notable. Justin Pugh, offensive lineman. Center, Richard Richburg. Devon Kennard, linebacker. And finally, cornerback, DRC. Very, very big names leaving. Definitely going to make an impact. Pugh's already signed. Richburg's already signed. I believe Devon Kennard is signed and DLC is yet to be signed. So, it's going to be interesting to see where these players, DLC ends up landing. He is still a good cornerback, so it should be interesting to see what ends up happening. Next one we have here is going to go ahead and be the players that actually joined the team, and that's going to be the free agents. So, left tackle from the New England Patriots, Nate Solder. From your Carolina Panther, Jonathan Stewart. Offensive lineman, Patrick Amomai, how do you say his name? Linebacker, Cain Mack. Cornerback, Teddy Williams. And finally, cornerback, Curtis Riley. Those are going to be your new additions to the 2018 New York Giants. So obviously, depending on who they draft, that will be going ahead and helping out, those players. Obviously, a quarterback is a very, very big need for this team. Offensive linemen are a very, very big need for this team. So it should be interesting to see what they end up doing. But guys, this last thing we have here is going to be the draft. Now, this draft is actually was created by GiantsWire.usatoday.com. So I went ahead and just used their mock draft so I could go ahead and show you guys kind of a good understanding, a good, what the Giants might go ahead and need. So obviously they're going to need a quarterback. They're going to need a offensive lineman. They're going to need not really receivers. Now, Brandon Marshall is a cap casualty, so I know there's a possibility that he might, they might need to go ahead and look at receivers. But to be honest, I think this team is fine at those positions. Now, with that in mind, when it comes to draft picks, you're going to see I have all the draft picks lined up. Let me go ahead and pull it up for you guys. And that's going to be right here. So, we have a mock draft, and I'll go ahead and minimize myself for a second so I can go ahead and show you. There we go. So, they have all 7 picks, and they also have another 7th round. They have one 7th round pick because of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They traded Cockwell, I believe, to Pittsburgh, and they have a 7th round pick you see right here. So, this actually was not one of their picks. They got that this offseason. So they have 2 4s, and then the rest they have 1 pick each. So they do have the 2nd pick in the draft, and this mock draft has the New York Giants selecting Sam Darnold, quarterback, which means most likely that the Browns will take another quarterback, or the Browns will take Barkley. So they take Barkley or they take another quarterback. This mock has the Darnold going to them. Now, in my personal mock, I thought that Barkley would go to the Giants if the Browns did not take him. Again, this is the NFL draft, so anything is possible. It's a very, crazy time when it comes to draft. People trade up, people trade down. We actually saw the New York Jets trade up to pick 3 to go ahead and obviously probably pick a quarterback. They gave up 3 second-round picks and also a first of their own in the 6th pick. So it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. Now, of course, the Buffalo Bills will probably try to trade up to get a quarterback. But with that in mind, guys, this is going to be the mock draft for the New York Giants. 2nd round, Isaiah Wynn. 3rd round, offensive tackle, Brandon Parker. 4th round, Royce Freeman. And also a guy's name I cannot say for $1 million. That defensive end right there. We also have 5th round inside linebacker Michael Kaiser. We have safety Dominic Sanders, and finally wide receiver Steve Ishmael. So those are the 8 picks. GiantsWire.USAtoday.com said. Now I added my 7th. The 7th round pick is actually my prediction, just because I thought, it's a 7th round pick. Most 7th round picks don't make the team, so they'll probably just go ahead and take a wide receiver just to see, what they can do with them. But with that in mind, New York Giants last season obviously had a awful year. My predictions last season for the New York Giants was 11-5. I said that they would not win the NFC East, but they would get a 6th round playoff seed, and they would go ahead and go far in the playoffs. I did not think they were going to win the Super Bowl, but I predicted them actually taking a long, stay in the playoffs and actually doing a pretty good job. Obviously, I was very, very wrong. Obviously, a lot of New York Giants fans were really, really wrong, and it just seems like last year this team gave up. Obviously, starting out 0-5 did not help, but if you just watch some of the clips last year when they played the 49ers, obviously, it's not always easy to make tackles, but it looked like players just didn't give a crap. They didn't care about tackling, and that's what happens when you start off really bad. I mean, it's amazing how much, hope and belief Cleveland players have. Even though they lose all the time, they still give it them their all every single play, and it's amazing how that happens, because I know a lot of players that would just, give up if the team's losing like that, or they're just not going to win games. So with that in mind, it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. Now, my biggest narrative is going to be, if they do select a quarterback, this is going to be awkward. And the reason why is because, Eli Manning, they benched him last year. They fired their GM, they fired their head coach because they benched Eli Manning. And now with the 2nd pick in the draft, they take a quarterback. I don't think Eli will have a problem, and Eli's not really that outspoken in that kind of context. So I don't think he'll say anything, but it's kind of going to beg the question. You guys just fluffed him over last year, and now you're taking a quarterback, so you're obviously saying you want to replace him. Now, of course, and we're going to end up seeing what happens, but Eli is older. Eli might have 2 more years left at most, so they're going to have to go ahead and change at that position. Now, obviously, this is if, the Browns take Barkley. If Barkley's on the board, and I had in my mock draft going to the Giants, I do not think they can pass him up. And the reason why is they did add Jonathan Stewart in the offseason, and that's a really good pickup, don't get me wrong, but this team has been known for not being able to run the ball efficiently, not being able to, just pound the rock every single play, putting a lot of tension, a lot of pressure on Eli Manning. Obviously, offensive line wasn't that good, but it's not really that easy when you don't have a running back to take away for the defense. I mean, when you have no running back on your team that actually scares the defense says, we don't care what you do. We're going to make the quarterback beat us, because we know you're not going to run the ball on us, 100 different times. And Rashad Jones, Shane Vereen, these guys are not scary names. Bobby Rainey, these are names that you just look at and you go, okay, who cares? I want you to run the ball. And that's something that, they're going to have to install fear into defenses they play against. And I got to say, I mean, yes, they need a quarterback, and yes, they had a 2nd overall pick. Next year's quarterback draft class is completely buns, so they need to take a quarterback this year if they're going to take a quarterback. But Barkley is so good. And you want to solve fear into your defense, into defenses. You want to have that bell cow running back that's going to be able to push you to the next level, win you games and stuff like that. That's Shaquem Barkley. And that is why I had the Giants taking them. But of course, if they do not take them and the Browns take them, I think there's no other choice than taking the quarterback. So if the Browns take Barkley, the Giants have to take Donald. I would say Donald, but Baker, I don't really like Baker too much. He is a little bit on the shorter side. And the reason why I say that is because when you have divisions like the NFC East, like the AFC North, you have to be a big physical quarterback. You look at some of the quarterbacks in the NFC East. You got Carson Wentz. You got now Alex Smith. Okay, Alex Smith is the outlier. Kirk Cousins with the Redskins before he got cut and then signed somewhere. And then you got Dak Prescott. What's called in the AFC North? You got Big Ben. You got Joe Flacco. You got Andy Dalton. You got Cleveland. You know, you need a big physical quarterback in these divisions. And I just feel like Baker, while he is physical, he's not the height that you need. And that's something that we're going to have to wait and see where Baker ends up going. But tell me down below, guys, where do you think Baker Mayfield will go in this NFL draft? This is the New York Giants, and hopefully they can have a better year than last year. I'm hoping, just because I love football and I hate to see teams do this bad. Peace out, guys.